Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides on political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. In a major story, President Buhari promises that the federal government will do all within its powers to ensure that Nigeria remains the continent's prime investment destination. Also in this program, INEC discloses to the Rivers Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja that just 293,000 voters were registered. The move to clear the Sambisa forest by troops of the Nigerian military continues to gather pace. And outside Nigeria, 22 migrants drowned off the coast of Turkey as the migrant crisis in Europe continues. Many thanks for joining us tonight. We begin the news with President Muhammadu Buhari says that one of the key objectives of his administration's ongoing economic reforms is to restore the confidence of investors in the Nigerian economy. The president, while addressing leading French businessmen and investors at the headquarters of the Movement of the Enterprises of France, reaffirmed his government's determination to curb corruption in Nigeria. President Buhari added that his administration will do all within its powers to sustain Nigeria's position as the #1 investment destination in Africa. Pragatas, the president of MEDEF, announced that the umbrella organization of about 800,000 French manufacturing firms and businesses will undertake a trade mission to Nigeria next month. Going further, Gates added that the MEDEF trade delegation will comprise of prospective investors in agriculture, mining, automobiles, energy, skills development, light manufacturing, food processing, civilian transportation services, and many other areas. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Dominic Ojabo Aboyi as Registered Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Health Officers Registration Council of Nigeria. A statement issued by ECORENCO's heads, President Public Communications, Kehinde Okpenibo, disclosed that the appointment took effect from September 3, 2015, as stipulated by the provisions of the Public Service and all the regulations of Federal Republic of Nigeria in furtherance of the provisions of Environmental Health Officers Act 2002. Until his appointment, Aboyi was the agency head, Department of Registration, Ethics, Standard and Enforcement, Acting Registrar, following the expiration of the tenure of Augustine Ebiseke on August 14, 2015. He holds a bachelor's degree in microbiology from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and also a master's in pharmaceutical microbiology from the same university. The federal government is planning to use a zero-based budgeting format for its 2016 budget planning, according to the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo. The Vice President said the zero-based budgeting will be carefully coordinated to ensure that it is policy-driven, especially regarding the proposed social intervention policy of the Buhari administration. Zero-based budgeting is planning according to needs and costs, different from the existing envelope budgeting or traditionally incremental budgeting, whereby the planning is based on existing income and expenditure as a deciding factor in national financial planning levels, which often incurs waste and assumes previous cost as constant. Oshibajo spoke during a courtesy visit by the National Economic Summit Group earlier today. The Vice President also met with a delegation from the Chartered Institutes of Stockbrokers and the Association of Stockbroking Houses of Nigeria. The Vice President also told the NESG that the introduction of the new TSA policy and its implementation by ministries, departments and agencies is a creative way of blocking leakages in the system to make way for a workable budget. He said with a zero-based budgeting, the federal government will also focus on a bottom-up approach to development. The presidency has ordered ministries, departments and agencies under the jurisdiction of the federal government to compile the names of all public service employees who are being owed arrears within 7 days so that it can be paid without further delay. The directive was contained in a circular with reference number and dated September 14, 2015, from the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Danladi Kefasi, and made available to journalists on Tuesday in Abuja by the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. In the circular, the presidency emphasized the urgent need to compile the names of those being owed so as to pay them immediately. The presidency also directed the MDAs to ensure that each unpaid entitlement should be accurate, verifiable, and contain the name, designation, status, or amount due to each officer. Reacting to the directive, Secretary General of the ASCSN, Alade Lawal, commended President Buhari for bringing hope to thousands of public service employees who have been owed arrears of salaries and allowances for years. Now, civil servants from various ministries and local governments in Osun State today besieged the Bola Ige State Secretariat and protest demanding payment of their outstanding salary arrears. Now, this is just as public school students also took to the streets demanding to know why the state government is asking them to produce tax clearance receipt of their parents before they're allowed in class. The civil servants' protest, however, went violent as journalists were beaten up by the irate workers. Rashid Hesmo from Oshogbo.
Workers arrived at the Bola Ige Secretariat in Oshogbo, the Osun State capital, to pray for the payment of their 8-month salaries. Prayers over, the workers received their national president, Ayuba Waba, who was on the stage to discuss the grievance of the workers with the government.
The bailout is essentially a different entity altogether, and we want the nitty-gritty to be done so that everybody will be paid. Before now, we said in the next 2-3 days, let everything be sorted out. So this is what we stand for, and that is why we are here to give you all the necessary support. I want to encourage you to continue to be very resolute, support your leaders here, because it is with your support that they will be able to succeed. In unity lies our strength.
The workers who refused to return to work waited for the labor leaders to meet with the Osun State Chief of Staff. The state NSO chairman, addressing workers in the native language after 6 hours wait, says the meeting was inconclusive and that negotiations will continue.
We want our money. November, September deduction, December deduction, balance January, balance February, then minimum of 4 months.
The protest, however, took a twist when journalists mistaken for those from the state-owned Osun State Broadcasting Corporation were beaten by the aggrieved workers. Elsewhere, public school students marched to the state secretariat. Received by the permanent secretary, Ministry of Education, the students said they were sent out of school because they failed to produce the tax clearance receipt of their parents.
Since our last session, when we are in grade 10, they have been doing a lot of things, like sit-down strike. They said we should pay 1.5 for damages. They don't allow us to do well exam. They are writing our exam in the blackboard. Students are not going to pay any tax, so we are not paying any money. They should allow us in to go back to our school. That's why our education, and we are ready to read. They should allow us in to read our book and go back to the school. That's what we need from the governor now.
But it seems the appeal did not go down well with the students. While the students vow to return if their plight is not addressed, the workers are waiting for final resolution as negotiation continues, even as pensioners in the state call on the Central Bank of Nigeria to take over the disbursement of the bailout fund in Osun State. The end, no doubt, is not in sight yet. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
Still in Osun State, lecturers in the state-owned tertiary institutions stormed the State Assembly to protest non-payment of their salary in the last 8 months. The lecturers under the aegis of Council of Academic Staff Unions of Osun State-owned tertiary institutions also say they're no longer interested in the contributory pension scheme. Our correspondent Rashid reports that the obviously aggrieved lecturers were seen chanting abusive and anti-government songs. Now more of the story.
For 3 months now, students in all the 4 tertiary institutions in Osun State have been at home owing to the industrial action embarked upon by their lecturers. Lecturers from the 4 institutions comprising 2 polytechnics and 2 colleges of education gathered in their numbers at the State House of Assembly complex to agitate for the payment of their 8-month salary arrears, among other demands, carrying placards with different inscriptions. According to the Secretary of the Union, Shegun Lana, the lecturers can no longer bear the agony of the situation anymore, hence the need for the state government to answer their prayers soon.
If government should pay any salary that is less than all our outstanding salaries, together with all the deductions, and correctly, and leave bonuses, and correctly, based on the payroll schedule submitted and audited by our institutions, we want to say that the calamity that may follow, which we see looming as leaders, and for which reason we decided to lead our members here to come and ventilate their grievances themselves. We should not be held responsible.
The Chief Whip of the House, Folorun Shoba Mishayemi, while addressing the protesters on behalf of the Speaker, appealed to them to exercise patience, saying efforts are underway to ensure that demands are met.
Now, and if indeed we are representing you, if indeed we are your government, we should be able to take your complaint. The House of Assembly, GS said the legislation is, a congress of opinion. And it says it is a committee of grievances. So this place is a committee of grievances. Be free to ventilate. Gentlemen, we sort out this issue.
All efforts made by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, who later showed up to address the protesters, was rebuffed.
Enough of this saluta thereabout. We've listened to you, we understand all that you are saying. It is good for us to respond back. And that is the essence of you coming down here. Otherwise, this is not the governor's office. This is the House of Assembly, although we are part and parcel of the government. This grievance is against the executive, not directly against the. I want silence.
The tertiary workers are no doubt ready for a real battle with the state government. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
In Rivers State, the Independent National Electoral Commission has told the state governorship election petition tribunal sitting in Abuja that 293,000 voters were accredited in the state. This is contrary to the results that showed that Governor Nyesom Wike scored over 1 million votes to defeat Peterside Dakuku. INEC's representatives Abimbola Oladunjoye, who was invited to testify by the Justice Mohammed Ambrose-led tribunal, at the request of the petitioner disclosed this when she was cross-examined by the Defense Counsel. Counsel to petitioner Akin Olujimi said the testimony contradicted the actual result announced by the Commission to the end of the voting exercise. A staff of the electoral umpire, Charles Okoye, who had earlier testified that the tribunal also described the election as a sham. For INEC counsel Onyechi Ikpeazu dismissed the insinuation that the Commission is not speaking with one voice. INEC is the first respondent in the petition filed before the tribunal by the All Progressives Congress and its candidate in the governorship election, Dakuku Peterside, against Governor Nyesom Wike. The petitioners are expected to close their case on Wednesday. The All Progressives Congress has denied reports that in a section of the media that Maitele Tarakoko, the 92-year-old woman who is an ardent Muhammadu Buhari supporter, has been abandoned, ardent that the woman is being well catered for. In a statement issued in Lagos on Tuesday by its National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed, the party said the wife of the Kebbi State Governor, Zainab Bagugu, a medical doctor, has personally taken charge of Maitala's welfare. Going further, the party said since the woman suffered a mild stroke while witnessed the swearing of President Buhari, the Kebbi State Governor, and Walero, she was admitted and treated at the Sir Yahya General Hospital in Birnin Kebbi, and all the expenses paid by the governor and his wife to ensure that close associate and friend Zainab Koko cooked and delivered meals thrice daily to Maitali. The party said it's decided to give the full details of her condition to put a light to the wicked rumor that she has been abandoned, describing the whole story as a figment of the imagination of the peddlers. So watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back after this breaking more stories. Then go away.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treasure looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell
on Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
If you're just joining us, it's to watch in the CoreTV Primetime News, and a quick reminder of a major story. President Buhari promises that the federal government will do all within its powers to ensure that Nigeria remains the continent's prime investment destination. INEC discloses to the Rivers Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja that just 293,000 voters were accredited. The move to clear the Sambisa forest by troops of the Nigerian military continues to gather pace. For more on the news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV_News. A former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Bamanga Tukur, has announced his retirement from politics. Tukur made this known in an address at a lecture organized to mark his 80th birthday in Abuja. Going further, he said he has done his best for the former ruling party and that it is time for him to retire from partisan politics. He added that during his short-lived tenure as the chairman of the party, he tried to introduce sanity into the affairs of the party. He also claimed to have introduced internal democracy, party discipline, and party supremacy. This, he says, remains the ingredient of strong party systems, which he said drives the democratic process. The Nigerian military says troops have cleared terrorist camps at Bolongo, Buladoy, and Churchill there in the early hours of today. The defense headquarters revealed in a series of tweets that dozens of kidnapped women and children held captive by Boko Haram terrorists were also rescued. It also maintained that ground troop operations and aerial bombardment by fighter jets are ongoing. The tweet by defense spokesman Colonel Rabi Abubakar also indicates that more Boko Haram camps have been wiped off towards Banki, Kumshe, and Bama axis. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 8, Tanko Lawal, has cautioned officers and men of the Nigerian police against the detention of suspects for more than 24 hours, describing the action as unconstitutional and unlawful. The police boss, who spoke while briefing policemen during his tour of the command, noted that policemen and the rank and file should turn a new leaf in concerns with the present wind of change in the country. Rashid has more in this report from Ilorin.
After his resumption as the new AIG in charge of Zone 8, Tanko Lawal is here in Ilorin on a familiarization tour of states under his command. Speaking to officers on the rank and file at the Kwara State Police Command, he charged the police against illegal detention of suspects and extortion. He stressed these should be avoided in order not to give the police force a bad name.
You should not be detained more than 24 hours because you must tidy up your case. That's why the issue of intelligent-led policing come into play. We must do our homework, and that will only come if you are good with members of the public. They will be ready to give you information. You have enough evidence to gather for prosecution of a suspect, then you charge him to court. The issue of long detention should not be avoided. The police have cause to spend so much in form of Ganashi orders. And if you allow police to kill Ganashi, you pay for it.
He also added that efforts of the present government in curbing corruption in the system includes the police. He urged the police to do away with corrupt practices because, according to him, the hunter can also be hunted. Tanko Lawal also ordered the dismantling of all unnecessary roadblocks on major roads because the era of roadblock is over.
All over the place, from the presidency to every facet of public life. And the police is not an exception. There is general zero tolerance to corruption. If you are corrupt, you better think twice, change a new lease of life, or you will be arrested. If proven, you'll be kicked out of the service. And in all these areas that are giving us problems, that's why the present police management has insisted on the issue of roadblock, because that is where we have so much problem with members of the public.
He also charges all the policemen to diligently discharge their duties because the present administration will bring back the lost glory of the force. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Now back to Osun State, where the Ife Kingmakers have asked the Gesi ruling house to present qualified candidates from the family to be selected as the next Ooni of Ife. The Obalufe of Ife, Solomon Omishake, who read the address of the 16 traditional rulers of Ife at a press conference held at the Leodua, said the Kingmakers used the 1980 Ife Chieftaincy Declaration to arrive at the decision to ask Gesi to produce the next Ooni. Omishake stated that the new Ooni will emerge within the next 40 days.
We, the 16 traditional rulers, making up Queensmaker by Ife traditional rules and custom, hereby unanimously declare and affirm and confirm that 1980 Ife Citizenship Declaration is the one in existence now, and we affirm as follows. Section 19, subsection A3, that is the term that it is the term of Gwesi ruling house to present the candidates for the Council of Ooni of Ife Citizenship. 2. Other 3 ruling houses, that is Oshinkola, Oboru, and Lafugudo, should wait for their turns. 3. No ruling house should be restricted to a particular quarter or area of the town because members of the ruling houses live in different parts of the town. Finally, we hereby enjoy the members of the 4 ruling houses, the townspeople, all religious body, men and women in the environment, to please maintain absolute peace. By doing this, the King General will be able to select the best candidate for the Council of Ooni of Ife. May God grant us peaceful coexistence.
She needs a roof project of the wife of the Imo State Governor, Neoma Okorocha, designed to address the plight of widows in the state, has effectively taken off for that intervention in support of widows. Imo State correspondent Ajibade Awofeso has made this report.
For these widows who live in shanties and manage to get by, despite the challenges life has thrown at them, hope abounds.
Where that collects the water, and according to her, anytime that basin is filled up, she will have to throw it away. In addition to that, she also have a leather, a polythene. Rather than to use blanket to cover herself when she's sleeping, she will use that polythene to cover herself. And the reason is because if it starts raining, so that the rain will not fall directly on her body.
Noma Nkechi Rochas Okorocha has taken upon herself to reduce the burden of these helpless women. In a warm embrace with some of them, she shows them love like mother, sister and friend. Some of them react to this good gesture.
Sister, I'm very happy. So because of joyness in me, it's making me to hang up. So I don't know what to say actually. But that's why I'm saying that my mother is not well. And I want to thank God. God can make it for me very easily. That is how God makes it very easy to everybody. And my own too. I was 6 years old when my father died. So
the wife of the governor added that the target is to build 27 houses in all, of which will be completed within the next 2 months.
And then we get some of the majority is mine from me, and then of course some well-meaning Imolecs or Nigerians that have passion for what I do.
On the issue of the health care of some of the widows, she has this to say.
That are in this condition are not even feeling well. Some medically are not feeling well. Some also have mental problems. And this is as a result of the living condition that they found themselves. And that is why I always will say, for you to be able to think right, you have to be able to live right.
She urged all Nigerians to join her in the quest to support widows and save them from discrimination. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
This is still CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back after this break of business news.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
They talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
A permanent secretary in the Ministry of Power, Ambassador Godnos Egali, has assured investors in Nigeria's power sector that the Muhammadu Buhari administration will sustain reforms in the power sector initiated by previous administrations of Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan. Egali said the government will not only sustain the reforms but also fine-tune the policy guiding the operations of the sector in order to address the challenges facing the electricity industry. Egali added that governments will continue to refine anything that needs to be refined to enable ease of business in Nigeria. He said the federal government is also looking at the diversification of the nation's power base to include coal and others. Gujarat, the state prime minister Narendra Modi ran for more than a decade, is India's best place for conducting business, and a report that ranks the country's states in an effort to encourage them to cut red tape by the World Bank. The report, prepared with state support from KPMG on the request of the Modi-led government, gains importance by coming before the World Bank's annual Doing Business report, which ranks nations and is expected to be released next month. Since taking charge in May 2014, Modi has set an ambitious target of improving by 2017 India's national ranking from a woeful 142 of 189, below Pakistan and Iran, to the top 50. Last year, India slipped 2 spots in the report and was ranked lower than Brazil, Russia, China and South Africa, mainly because of delays in approvals for starting a business, tax payments, getting bank loans and property registration. Modi's government has taken several pro-business steps, such as rolling back plans to tax foreign companies and allowing them to invest more in insurance, defense, banks and other sectors. And in sport, now, Newcastle boss Steve McLaren says his team was given a wake-up call as they slipped to the bottom of the Premier League after a 2-0 loss at West Ham. The ex-England coach took over in the summer but remains without a Premier League win after 2 Dimitri Payet goals gave the Hammers victory. McLaren said he's very disappointed and it is a very big lesson. Payet gave the Hammers an early lead when he clawed the ball past Tim Krul from the edge of the penalty area. The Frenchman scored the second 3 minutes after half-time with a rebound after Victor Moses hit the crossbar.
Noble and Payet, lovely. It's a struggle to man-mark that sort of skill.
Now, United are back in the Champions League after a painful exile last season. Their first runner seen Memphis Depay made a quick return to the club he left in the summer. The sides clashed on the same stage of the 2020 away competition, but Arnold shared United losing 3-1 on the road, turning the tables with the same scoreline at Old Trafford. PSV gained automatic qualification as Dutch champions, while Louis van Gaal United each through the playoff route 7-1 against Brugge. The two coaches are well known to each other. PSV boss Philip Cocu having played under van Gaal at both Barcelona and for the Netherlands. The local authority has said that Chelsea's plan to redevelop Stamford Bridge into a new 60,000 capacity stadium is generally acceptable. Hammersmith and Fulham Council says it would support any plans subject to certain conditions being met. The development would also feature 2 hotels, a Chelsea village comprising of 37 luxury flats and a 276-space car park. A full planning application is now expected to be submitted. Chelsea have played at Stamford Bridge since 1905, and the ground was last redeveloped in the 1990s. However, its current capacity of around 42,000 is significantly smaller than the stadium of Premier League rivals Manchester United, Arsenal and Manchester City, whose grounds hold 76,000, 60,000 and 55,000 respectively. And in entertainment, Nigerian music legend Two-Face Idibia is to celebrate his 40th birthday with the release of his biography titled A Very Good Bad Guy. Editor of the book, Popular Publicist Diana Adekunle Samuel, shared the cover of the book on his Instagram page. The 40th birthday celebration, called Fortified, will include a concert, a flag of party club rumors, and the launch of his biography. A Very Good Bad Guy will be released on Friday, September 18, 2015. Nollywood star Kosi Ojako has been recognized for something other than her chest size. Kosi is currently in journey for an award which also happens to be her first ever international award. Kosi grabbed the Extensive Daring Artist Award from Europe Golden Awards. The actress wrote on Instagram, appreciating my first international award, the Extensive Daring Artist from Europe's Golden Awards. And finally, the Kardashian empire is spreading into the field of personal media apps. Four of the 5 media-centric sisters said they would offer apps and websites to allow them to connect more directly with fans, which will have content like personal diaries, video and workout tips, geared either to Kim Kardashian West, Khloe Kardashian, Kendall Jenner, and Kylie Jenner. This isn't Kim Kardashian's first foray into the digital space. She introduced Kim Kardashian Hollywood, a game last year. Warwick Industries, the California-based company that is putting the apps together, says there will be a mixture of free content and material behind the paywall. Well, that's a wrap on CoreTV Primetime News, but before we go, a quick reminder of our major stories. President Buhari promises that the federal government will do all within its powers to ensure that Nigeria remains the continent's prime investment destination. INEC discloses to the Rivers Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja that just 193,000 voters were credited. And finally, the move to clear the Sambisa forest by troops of the Nigerian military continues to gather pace. Many thanks for staying through with us tonight. I am Olajumo Kiolati. Have a good night rest.